Good afternoon, friends. Good afternoon, parents. Good afternoon, dear students. The focus of today's webinar will be mainly on medical education, but whatever the principles that are quoted here and the facts that are discussed during this webinar, they're equally applicable to education in all fields and all disciplines in various Russian universities. But being a doctor by profession, I think it is will be okay on my part to focus primarily on medical education. The aim of this webinar is number one, to create awareness about COVID-19. Only then we will to analyze the impact of COVID-19 on medical education in India and abroad. I'll try to apprise all of you about the efforts that have been put in by RUS Education in support of both the current students and what we are going to put in for all the potential students who are likely to join various Russian universities through us. And whatever apprehensions and concerns that we have got, we will try to address all those apprehensions and concerns during the course of this presentation and subsequently during the question answer session. So what I'll do, I'll give a brief introduction about COVID-19, and then I'll come across what is the aim of the students today, especially with relation to medical education, and what is the aim of parents. Obviously, the next question comes that NEET is over. Which way or the other, NEET has been held. Almost 85 to 90% of the 16 lakh students who had appeared for NEET, they have actually appeared physically for this examination, which is an offline examination. So now you worry after NEET, what next should we do? Then you have apprehensions about COVID-19. I will quote some of the apprehensions which we have carried out based upon a survey done of several students. And then we will see how to overcome those apprehensions, and then we'll put in some take-home messages out of this webinar. So briefly, it will be most appropriate if we start creating awareness about COVID-19. It is very important to know about the disease before you can understand its impact. I know most of you have read many things from many sources. What I am going to quote here is absolutely scientific. It is not based upon my perception or perception of one community or one agency. These are all scientific facts that I am going to tell you without deviating from what has been published in various journals and various agencies in India, including Indian Council of Medical Research and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Also, what are they provided by the CDC Atlanta in USA, and what were the initial papers that were published from China when the disease started there in December last year. So COVID-19 is caused by what? COVID-19 is caused by coronavirus, which is now called corona SARS virus 2, which means that it is a SARS stands for severe acute respiratory syndrome, where you go into respiratory depression. This has got spike-like proteins on top of its surface, which you can easily identify here from the photograph. And these spikes, they are the ones which create problem by getting attached to our cells and create an inflammatory response which causes the disease. So COVID-19 is caused by coronavirus. This coronavirus is just like a flu type of virus, but this is slightly more infectious than the normal flu virus that has been prevalent. And we can go back to the influenza epidemic about more than a century ago. In 2018-19, when we had in 1918-19, when we had this influenza epidemic, that is called Spanish flu, commonly called the Spanish flu, it was also caused by a similar virus. And you can actually, if you go into history, you will find there's a lot of similarities between what was being done then and what is being done now. How does this virus spread? It spreads by person-to-person contact. So you have to maintain a safe distance from each other. It spreads by droplet infection, which means while I am talking, I am throwing some droplet in the air. While I am shouting, I am throwing more droplets. If I am singing, I am throwing some more droplets. And if I am shouting, I am throwing many more droplets. So these droplets go around the air, and somebody else who is my neighbor, he can breathe those droplets. And if I am suffering from the viral infection, the same virus can be passed on to my colleague or to anybody who is come in close contact with me. So it is basically droplet infection and by personal contact. Also, some of the droplets, they They fall on the tables, on your laptops, on your mobiles, and they combine with dust particles and they become what we call fomites. And when you touch them and then put your hands and eyes into your nose or into your ears, or into your eyes or into your mouth without washing them, then it gets spread into your body by this means. So it spreads by person to person contact, it spreads by droplet infection, and it spreads by fomites. How does it present itself? There are three common presenting symptoms. So every symptom is not a COVID symptom. For you to have COVID, you should have fever, you should have some form of a cough and a generalized feeling of not feeling well and body aches. There are other symptoms: loss of smell, sore throat, loss of taste, diarrhea, body aches, red eyes. So it can present in these ways also, but primarily, most commonly, it presents with fever, cough, and some amount of feeling of not feeling well and generalized body aches here and there. This is how normally it presents, but there are other ways of presentations which are coming forth after all this research that has gone into it. There are many other ways it can come. It can present as a case of diarrhea also. How it is diagnosed? Well, there are two tests these days for diagnosis. One is a rapid antigen test, which is gives you false negative results also. So if you are negative, it does not mean that you cannot have COVID-19. The gold standard test is reverse transcriptase polymerase chain reaction test, that is RT-PCR test, in which they take a swab from your nose and the nasopharynx or from your sputum. So from there it is then isolated and then you are diagnosed as COVID-19 positive. The number of cycles it takes to replicate itself is important because they will tell you exactly what is the degree of virulence of this particular virus. So if you are having a CT cycle, that is cycle time, in which it doubles itself, a CT, that is called a CT time, if it is around 20-25, then means you have got a moderate infection, severe infection. You may not have the symptoms, but the viral load is on the higher side because it's doubling up quickly. But if you have beyond that, that means you probably may have a very small viral load. Of course, some people with less CT times can have less severe symptoms. With more CT time can have more severe symptoms also. How is it cured? There is no known cure. We give you antibiotics, antiviral drugs, oxygen therapy, maintain you in ICU, maintain all your vital parameters. But yes, it can have complications. As it grows, it can have some severe complications. How to prevent it from spreading? Very simple. As I told you, how it spreads: person to person contact. When you talk, when you sing, when you shout, when you whisper, it can spread. When you cough, when you sneeze, it can spread. So what is the best way to prevent it? Put on a mask. So whenever you are outside, when you go to your offices, please put on your mask. It will prevent the viral load from coming on from you to somebody else. So when I am putting on the mask, more than protecting myself, I am protecting my colleague. So it is the duty of my colleague to ensure that if I am protecting my colleague should protect me by putting on a mask. This is very, very important. Then you must maintain a distance of 6 feet from each other, because generally the droplet infections will not go normal talking time, it will not go more than 6 feet. Yes, if you are singing, it can go high, it can go beyond 6 feet also. If you are shouting, it can go beyond 6 feet also. Okay, but generally during normal conversation, it does not go beyond 6 feet. So maintain a 6 feet distance between yourself and your colleagues while interacting with each other. Thirdly, you can use your mobiles, you can use your laptops, everything that you use with your hands. These hands are supposed to be washed. On regular interval, I would prefer that every time you get an opportunity, wash your hands. You can wash your hand with soap and water, which is very effective. And if you do not have accessibility to soap and water, you may carry some hand sanitizer yourself and wash your hand in very simple steps, that you have to rub your hands together like this. After that, when you get the lather or when the alcohol is there, then you put your hands like this, one on top of each other, and count 5. then inside, one into each other and count 5. Then your knuckle of right palm, right hand on your left palm and count 1 to 5 similarly like this on your left. And then you clean your thumb like this by rotation movement, and then your fingertips on your palm 5 times like this, both sides, and finally your wrist. So ensure you don't put on jewelry, you don't put on your watches while washing your hands. And it's better that you have got a mobile, don't need to carry watches with you. You can see the time from your mobile. And it is now fashionable not to carry jewelry with you, because then jewelry itself can become a fumite. So this is how you can prevent it from spreading: by hand washing, hand hygiene, by putting on a mask, by social distancing, that is maintaining a distance of 6 feet. Now, what is the prognosis? Almost about 85% are asymptomatic. So they do not suffer from anything else. Who are more at risk? Those who are elderly males beyond 60 years, elderly people beyond 60 years, those who have got comorbidities like obesity, diabetes mellitus, cardiovascular disease, that is heart disease, those who have got respiratory disorders, those who have got cancer, those who are on immunosuppressive agents. These are the people who are more affected by this virus, and they can have a turbulent course. But the death rate is very low. In India, it is lower. Otherwise, across the globe, a death rate of 2 to 5% is reported. Yes, that becomes higher in those who are more elderly in age group. They carry a higher death rate, and those who have got comorbidities, they carry a higher death rate. But young healthy adults, they may just have flu-like symptoms, and they may not even come to know that they have suffered from this infection. So this is what is all about COVID-19. The best thing to do is that when you get some symptoms early time, or you feel that you are not feeling too well, you take steam inhalations and you take lot of fluids, keep your diet well, monitor your oxygen by a pulse oximeter. If your saturation goes below 94%, please contact the doctor. If you are having breathing difficulty, please contact a doctor. If you are having temperature more than 100 degree Fahrenheit with cough, please contact the doctor. Don't take it on yourself that ghar mein theek ho jayega. Let them decide whether you are a mild case or a moderate case, or going to become a severe case. That is all that you need to do. But do not be afraid, because 85% to 90% people, they just recover like a normal influenza-like illness. Now, having told about COVID-19, now let's come back to the topic. Let us see what today the students, what are they aim? All those who have come to attend this fair, what is their aim? What are the name of the students? Their aim is to achieve their dream of becoming a good doctor from a recognized and reputed university. That is the aim of the students. And what is the aim of the parents? The aim of the parents is to help and facilitate their wards to achieve their dreams by taking pragmatic and realistic decisions in their favor, after taking all factors into consideration, and to ensure that they get very good quality medical education, where it not only focuses on the education of medicine, but also how to become a good individual, how to have holistic development with all recreation facilities, with ability to develop their own other extracurricular activities. So all this, and the cost should be affordable to the parents. It should not happen that you become bankrupt while trying to make your children doctors. So it has to be at affordable cost. And of course, the parents' aim is also there, that you have to make efforts to remove all obstacles that can arise during the pursuit of the dreams of the children. Because every parent likes to feel that their child should be able to achieve what he wants to achieve or she wants to achieve. So under these circumstances, parents would like to ensure that whatever obstacles are there that can result in causing obstruction to the achievement of the dream of the students of their wards, they must try to remove them. This is the aim of parents. But let me tell you, obstacles do not have to stop. Because if you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up and figure out how to climb it. Go through it or work around it, but just try to overcome the obstacle. All successes come after you overcome the obstacles that come in your path. So therefore, do not be afraid of obstacles. Now, most of you are having this thought after NEET 2020. There was uncertainty last time about NEET 2020. Now NEET 2020 has happened. So after NEET 2020, what next? One is you qualify, get very good marks, and you can get a government medical college and you are happy. How many marks? That we'll discuss tomorrow in the webinar at 3 p.m. But today, we are not going to focus too much about the marks and the analysis of NEET 2020. Today I am saying if you qualify NEET with good marks, you are happy because you get a government medical college and you are comfortable. If you are NEET qualified but marks are not competitive enough to get a government medical college, you'll probably have to settle for a private medical college. It may have a very high fee structure, but if you can afford, probably you will afford and join that private medical college. But if you do not have the money, you have the marks, but do not have the money, then what next? And if you do not get any college at all, even if you have got the money, but your marks are not sufficient enough to get a medical college, because you know we have only around 80,000 seats and there will be almost about 8 lakh people competing for this 80,000 seats. So you have qualified NEET, but you do not get any college. So what next you should do? Another issue is you do not qualify NEET. Then the query is, can you still get some admission? So let us answer these queries first. If you qualify NEET and do not have the money to go to a private college, you have affordable colleges with excellent infrastructure, duly empaneled by Medical Council of India, certified by the Education Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates of USA, and possessing excellent infrastructure and academic facilities in Russia. Don't have to go too far. If you have qualified NEET and do not get a seat in India, you can still go to Russia and get a seat. Now, if you have not qualified NEET, you still can get admission in Russian universities, because now the Medical Council of India has been very magnanimous and very kind-hearted. Seeing the COVID-19 situation, they said you can qualify NEET in 2020 and go to Russian universities. If you do not qualify NEET in 2020 and you are getting admission in Russian universities, take it, but you have to qualify your NEET in 2021. Only then you will be eligible to come back and appear for the Foreign Medical Graduate Examination, or what is commonly known as the MCI screening examination, to be eligible to practice in India. So you have got, all of you. Today I am providing you a solution for all categories. Those who are qualified NEET with marks but cannot get a government medical college and do not have the money to enter into a private medical college, you can join very good medical universities in Russia who have all the accreditation. If you have qualified NEET and do not get a seat in India anywhere, you can still go to Russia and get a seat of your choice in a choice university. Again, for those who have not qualified NEET, they also have a golden opportunity to go to Russian universities and enlist yourself there, start your first year, and then next year, please come back and take your NEET 2021 and qualify, try to qualify in that. Once you qualify in that, you have no problems whatsoever and your 1 year gets saved. So these are the advantages now which Corona has done to us. This advantage has come because of Corona. And let me tell you, 85% are not affected. So this opportunity should not be lost sight of. So there is no need to despair. You have still plenty to choose from to achieve your dreams. You can travel to Russia to realize your dreams. And this is a very unique opportunity that may open you many avenues for you, international avenues for you to become a global physician. But there is a lurking doubt. You still have the fear of COVID and traveling abroad. You still want to know, is it safe? Will my child be safe? Is it worth it? We can waste this year and we can go next year, hoping that COVID will go away next year. Is it safe? That is the concern which many of you must be having. Yes, we all have apprehensions about COVID-19. There is nobody who can say that I am not apprehensive about COVID-19. Why? because the cases are increasing across the globe. Almost 31 million cases across the globe. So you can imagine, almost 6.5 million in USA, around 4 million in India. And you can, Russia has got almost 1 million cases so far. So you will think there is so much of information globally this disease has been spread. Lot of information about disease is coming through to you. So you are apprehensive. But along with this information, you are getting lots of WhatsApp messages, misinformation about the disease. So many people have died. So many people have died, but you're not understanding the case fatality rate is very less. And let me tell you, very surprisingly, the all over death rate has gone down. The death rate from surgical operations, the death rate from heart attacks, the death rate from strokes, the death rate from the complications of various diseases has come down. So overall, the death rates have come down. The death rate due to road traffic accidents, the death rate due to violences, they all have come down. So therefore, actually, you see the impact of corona. People have become very, very careful about themselves, which is a good sign. So you don't have to worry and don't give in to misinformation that, oh, so many people died of corona. So because people are only talking of death due to corona, which is very small percentage and only affecting certain immunocompromised patients, immunocompromised people with comorbidities. So nothing to worry. Organizations including WHO sometimes are making one statement, then making some other statement because they are not sure. And there are millions of scientific papers with limited sample size and inadequate and inappropriate peer reviews which are coming into the media. So these are the various reasons that have people made everyone apprehensive. What is the disease? Kya bimari aa gayi? How this disease has come? We have made a mountain out of a molehill. All that we need to know about this molehill is that we have to take measures to prevent. That is all. We have to become responsible people, responsible citizens to prevent the spread of this disease. So if we take this responsibility onto ourselves, this disease will not see the number that it is seeing today. Okay. But imagine everybody is getting it, but many people don't come to know. And I told you 85 to 90% don't probably have, they remain perfectly fine or remain asymptomatic. So we must not worry. Now see, there are some interviews that we have taken from some students and parents. So they feel that all institutions are closed, travel abroad is banned, therefore no admissions are taking place, and whatever admissions are taking place, they are not correct. No, it is not true. The sessions are going to start in their own time. So don't have to worry about this apprehension. I am unwilling to pay deposit now for the study year of 2020-21 because I am worried that the coronavirus will not be over and I may lose my money. This is not going to happen. Once you deposit the money and get an admission from the university, you are enrolled in the university. So you are going to start your training accordingly. And coronavirus, who knows, may stay this year, may stay next year. So will you continue to lose year after year of your academic career? So I told you should not be afraid. Don't worry about it. Just take preventive measures. Other apprehensions is COVID-19 has spread across the globe and the airlines have stopped the incoming and outgoing of passengers of all countries. My family is now scared to send anyone anywhere, be it a foreign nation or just a trip to the grocery store next door. Even if I am willing, my parents will not agree to send me to Russia. You have to look at the entire scenario in totality based upon all the information that I provided you. You know, we have got 101 reasons to become afraid. The more afraid you become, the more the factor of fear will grow into your mind. You have to accept this as a normal flu and move ahead. Other view is the coronavirus has spread its tentacles in all countries. My parents are scared to send me abroad. Yes, it is understandable. Parents will be scared, but you have to be careful. That's all. Not be fearful. Somebody has said, I am afraid of going abroad nowadays. The world is going to face an economic collapse. So education could become costly. That would be unbearable for my family as well as for me. This is another time. Most of the universities probably will not increase their fee structure. because they know that people will have some problems financially, and they might actually bring down, they might give you some scholarship schemes and help you to cope up with this financial crisis of yours. So this is the best and most opportune time to actually seek admissions. Another apprehension is that almost every country has stopped taking foreign students, which is not true. Every country is inviting foreign students to come. That will create a long line of scholarship candidates, and that scares me because I don't have extraordinary result on merit. The universities do not take into consideration all these factors. Some of them give you, some agencies like Rus Education gives scholarship to economically weaker sections, and they have plans for giving scholarship to various categories. So their scholarships will be available irrespective of what your merit. All you have to know is what you have said in the last line. All I have is the mentality of hard work and a dream to do something. If you have this, don't be afraid of anything else. The things will fall into place for you themselves. So apprehensions are natural. Now let me tell you, as per all the scientific data that is available, no student, no student has been adversely affected in current pandemic across the globe. So do not waste a year of your child. Do not waste your hard-earned money on colleges you cannot afford, because this year the fees are unlikely to be increased. So avail of this opportunity. And today India and abroad are similarly placed. In India there is much more COVID than in other countries, than in Russia. In Russia the trend is downwards. So don't have to be worried whether in India or in abroad. If you have to choose, choose abroad. The coronavirus is here to stay in the, like any other flu, it will stay there. But with each passing day, its virulence will come down. Its capability to kill will come down. And if you take precautions, the chances of infection become much less. With precautions, even if you get infected, the viral load will be minimal. That means your cycle time will become much higher for the virus to duplicate itself. So you are likely to remain asymptomatic or have only mild flu-like symptoms. We also know that Russian vaccine is already there. It's just around the corner. Sputnik 5, human trials are going on. The knowledge of the disease and the means of managing the same has increased several folds. And that is why the death rate is coming down, the mortality rate is coming down. And we all know the lockdowns are now either easing or being totally removed. And some of the countries have totally removed the lockdowns. So why we should not be afraid of COVID? Because if you take the precautions, the chances of infections become much less. So as I have told you, all these things, that you will not have much of infection because viral load will be minimal. You have to be careful. Again, I make a point here. You have to be careful means wash your hands frequently, hand hygiene, put on your mask, maintain social distancing. That is all. So if you are careful, nothing is going to happen to you. Do not be fearful, because coronavirus is not known to cause any significant adverse impact on healthy young individuals. So far it is 0.2 to 0.4%. So I told you, most of the people in age group which are between 18 to 40 who have been infected, they are asymptomatic. Risk is much lesser in younger people because older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions, they appear to be more vulnerable to becoming severely ill with the virus. The overall mortality, as I told you, between 3 to 5%, and below 30th is only 0.2 to 0.4% in those who have got comorbidities. But this, however, does not mean that the younger generation will not take precautions. Precautions are to be taken. Now you will say, okay, I am convinced, but what about traveling to Russia in a closed aircraft? So this should not be a problem for you. COVID should not be a hindrance to your dream destination abroad, because traveling abroad in sanitized aircrafts with proper PPE, that is personal protective equipment, which includes, you can see the face shield and the mask, and with a sanitizer with you, with yourself. All international carriers are supposed to do this, and this will prevent additional risk to you. And if you think aircraft is closed space with the same air being rotated, you are mistaken. Okay, because it is loaded with airflow and filtration system to reduce cross contamination. The air inside the aircraft is renewed every 2 to 3 minutes as it is sucked out through the vents on the floor of the aircraft, and then this is passed through high efficiency particulate air filters. These high quality filters are the same which are used in the hospitals and the operation theaters to flush out 99.97% of particulates, including the SARS-CoV-2 virus, which is roughly around 125 nanometers in diameter. Now see, in the universities, special facilities are being provided. Universities adhere strictly to the guidelines which are provided by Ministry of Health in Russia. They are conducting online classes and examinations till the time this menace continues. Hostels are open. Indian students continue to get all the best services which they were getting before lockdown. There's online access to the library and online discussions with teachers for doubt clearing sessions. So Russian universities are taking all measures to ensure that your academics do not suffer, at the same point of time to ensure that you are safe from the disease. What has Rus Education done? Rus Education is following all the guidelines issued by the respective universities in Russia and by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, both in Russia as well as in India, and the Indian Embassy. We are maintaining hygiene and sanitation within the student hostel premises by carrying out regular disinfection. There are daily interaction of our coordinators with the students, and they are providing sanitizer and masks to students who want to go out for certain activities, and we are ensuring continuity of academic activities. Online FMG coaching facilities and study material has been put. Video conferencing has been organized at regular intervals between the parents, student coordinators, staff, and students of all universities, as well as the management of Rus Education here in Delhi, so that we can interact together and sort out your difficulties, your problems, and the issues that the children are facing. We opened up a helpline of number 24/7. Daily monitoring of hostels is being carried out, and daily visits by doctors is being done, and regular interaction with Indian Embassy, and we are informing them on a regular basis of what actions we are taking, and Indian Embassy is also being in touch with us on a regular basis. Now let us imagine a worst case scenario that can happen. Corona continues unabated and unhindered. International travel continues to remain banned. Your ward or student after NEET qualification cannot get a seat in India, or the seat available is unaffordable. In the previous attempts also, the student could not score very many marks in NEET. So should you give up your dreams just because the situations are unfavorable? Remember one thing, the situations in life are never favorable. You have to make them favorable. And we have a very strong option for you. And the option for worst case scenario is that we have arrangements with the universities that as long as this worst case scenario persists, you can still do admissions in universities of your choice, and the Russian universities will admit you. They will continue the semester online. All theory classes will be taken online. As soon as international travel ban is lifted and the corona comes under control, in those circumstances, the classes become offline, proper live classes in the classrooms, and then you can travel to Russia and your practical classes will start. Assessments are being done online. Oral examinations are being done online. The student travels once situation is under control. So COVID cannot stop you. Why? Because this pandemic will wither away. All this too shall pass. Okay, so people will learn to live with it. But the academic pursuit of your ward should not be allowed to wither away. The academic pursuit of their students, your academic pursuit should not be allowed to wither away. So make use of this time and the opportunity. So whatever opportunity is coming your way, grab it. And we are sure you are going to be successful. So let your wards, and please students who have qualified, you qualify NEET or not qualified NEET or got less marks, doesn't matter. Now you choose a medical college of your choice as per your merit and affordability. You have an option for it. How is education going to support you? We have assisted the students by providing resource material and mock tests for NEET 2020. We have already assisted the students by doing this. We have arranged webinars conducted by experts to guide students for qualifying NEET. We shall continue to do this for those students who have not qualified NEET and who have given this golden opportunity of getting admissions and coming back next year and appearing for NEET 2021. We are providing end-to-end solutions to ensure that the dream of parents and students is realized. We give an assurance of safety of your wards with all preventive measures, even if COVID menace does not subside. During vacations, we got in touch with Indian Embassy, we got their support, we got in touch with travel agents, and those students who wanted to come back for vacations, we have brought them back to India in chartered aircraft. So we look after the needs of all students and parents based upon the safety of the individual and the requirement of the universities and the Indian government. We will train the students before departure about facing coronavirus. And our representative universities are there full time for continual support. All the rooms that are being allotted to the students will be properly sanitized before their arrival. Their luggage will also be sanitized on arrival. And the transport in which the students will travel from airport to the respective universities will also be sanitized. We have made a COVID specific protocol regarding various tests to be taken during student travel and their stay in Russia. So we are giving an assurance. And now you see here, in the month of April, almost about 40 to 45 students, 45% of the people interviewed wanted to go abroad. This fell in the month of May. But as the epidemic started showing its wing, more number of people started coming in, but people started understanding that this is more of a flu-like virus. But yes, we have to be careful. So the respondents who wanted to go abroad, they kept on increasing. And last month, the total reached 74% of the respondents said that we are willing to go abroad for education. So let us not waste this opportunity which is coming our way and waste 1 year. So finally, the take-home message is that in pursuing your aim of becoming a doctor, please understand the path is never going to be rosy. There are going to be thorns in your path. They are going to prick you. We know that NEET is no longer an obstacle. Whether you are qualified or not qualified is not an obstacle for admission this year. So avail of this opportunity. We also know that seats in India are limited, but options abroad are available in plenty as on date. So make use of those options before you lose them. Corona should not be a limiting factor in your career choices. I've already explained to you why. So be positive in your approach. As a doctor, please remember, today the doctors are in the front line as workers combating this pandemic. Tomorrow you will be there. So are you going to feel afraid of this? Are you going to say that I am not going to study because of Corona, I am not going to see patient because Corona will get me? You cannot say that. So you cannot run away from challenges and obstacles, because the more you run away from them, the more they will follow you. All of us have grown up in our appointment because we had the courage to take on the challenges. If you want to become a doctor, if becoming a doctor is your dream, you have to overcome your challenges. You have to find ways and means to prepare for those challenges and overcome them. So you have to be careful. Do not be fearful. The more fearful you are, the less are your opportunities for going in life. So be careful, but do not be fearful. So if your wards qualify and are unable to get admission in affordable medical college of their choice in India, do not hesitate to choose government recognized, MCI registered, globally accredited, good quality, affordable medical college in Russia. We assure you accurate and precise information on safety, health and security of your wards. Pursue education in Russia. All category of students, please pursue education in Russia. It is economical. It is a very friendly country. It is very affordable. It is safe. COVID is in a declining phase in Russia, and Russia has already developed a vaccine for Corona, which is in its final phases of launch. And Russian universities take good care of the Indian students. They are treated in the same manner as the Russian students. And you have got Rus Education with you and a team of very empathetic professionals and counselors who are there to guide you, support you, help you overcome your obstacles and achieve your dream of getting quality education in Russia. So please do not hesitate, pick up your phone, ring up a toll-free number on 1-800-833-3338 and approach our website. Get yourself registered because the window period is short for admissions. So please get your seat booked now. Should not lose this golden opportunity. Challenges are what makes life interesting. Overcoming them is what makes life meaningful. So thanks for listening. Any questions?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have few questions. First is, sir, can I get admission in India? I have 537 marks in NEET.
Okay, that's a very good question. If you attend the web session tomorrow, we'll confirm to you. But for your this thing, you are in a group where you can definitely get admission in India. But whether you will get a government medical college, it may be tough. It may be tough, but you have an opportunity there. However, you can get a good private medical college. So you can get admission in India with 537 marks, but we have to wait and watch what others get. Okay, so because it is a competitive examination, so you cannot 100% say, but you stand a chance of getting admission in India. Definitely, you stand a chance.
Sir, next is, what is the qualification for MBBS in abroad, and is NEET required for MBBS in abroad?
Okay, see, at present the qualification is you have to pass your class 12 or equivalent examination with physics, chemistry, biology or biotechnology, or even biology as an additional subject. So you can, with a 50% marks total in all this, aggregate is 50% with pass marks in English. This is for unreserved category. For unreserved category with who are physically challenged and physically handicapped, it is 45%. And for those who are belonging to reserved category of ST, SC, OBC, all those categories, you can get 40% in class 12. That is your eligibility criteria for NEET. That is also your eligibility criteria for admission abroad. In addition, you are supposed to be NEET qualified. This year, because of corona epidemic, there is an additional opportunity given to those who have not qualified NEET, that you can seek admission abroad because NEET got delayed. So you can seek admission abroad. And since admission in abroad university is going to close earlier and your NEET results may not come out earlier, or your counseling will not get over, so you are allowed to take, even if you have not passed NEET and you have taken admission abroad, even if you could not appear for NEET due to corona and you have taken admission abroad, that is valid. But you have to pass your NEET 2021. In year 2021, you have to pass your NEET examination so that you become eligible to come back and appear for foreign medical graduate examination in India for registering for practice in India.
Thank you, sir.
I hope.
Sir, yes, sir. This question is clear, sir. Next is, will they teach in English or Russian language for MBBS?
Okay, the exclusive universities to which Rus Education sends you, they have got English language as the mode of instruction. The teaching is in English. So medium of instruction is English for all the years. However, you have to learn Russian language because when you interact with the patients, you have to speak to them in Russian language, because patients can't be expected to speak to you in English language. So it is better that since Russian language is being taught to you free of cost in Russia as a subject in your first and second year, so you must learn that language. It will help you in your administrative activities, in your daily shopping activities, in your daily administrative activities, in interacting with the administrative faculty and staff of the university, and in interacting with the patient. But the medium of instruction will be English, and whichever university Rus Education sends you, they will send you in those universities only where the medium of instruction is in English.
Sir, next, yes, sir. Sir, next is, what is eligibility certificate from Medical Council of India? Is it compulsory for getting admission in abroad?
No, from now onwards, the eligibility certificate is not essential. The only essentiality is that you have to have a NEET pass certificate, that you have qualified NEET for that year. So that NEET mark sheet you have to keep with you, and your registration of NEET you have to keep with you. That is your eligibility along with your class 12 mark sheet. So that is your eligibility. You do not have to apply for eligibility certificate CI separately.
Okay. Sir, next is when we will fly for Russia.
Whenever the Russian universities allow offline classes and whenever the international flights are open, then you can travel to Russia. The moment that information comes that the universities are open for offline classes, then you can immediately, you will be, we'll make arrangements for you to fly to Russia.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there are other questions related to fee structure. So for that, I would like to request all the students or the parents to please visit our ongoing virtual Russian education fair. I will just mention the domain where you can visit and can collect all the fee structures, can book your free counseling session. That would be a video counseling with our expert counselors, and also you can get the university brochures. So you can visit the fair and can collect all the information related to fee structures and any information you are looking forward for any particular university.
Okay, yes, that is correct. You can go to the university site, various stalls in the university's stall, and you can find out from there. There is one more question, Priya, which I just saw. MCI told that online classes will not be done in India. Now, I want to clarify this. MCI has said, based upon the MCI does not recognize any instruction which is online based or through distance education. It is there in their charter. So when somebody asks for information, do you permit online classes, online course semesters, online courses to be conducted for medical education? Your answer will be no, because it is a charter. But when you tell that during this pandemic and such situations, do you permit? Then see what answer they will give you. Except under exceptional circumstances, in those cases, the academics, theoretical academics can continue online, but the practicals will be conducted the moment the situation comes under control in the offline mode. So do not go by what is being circulated and what is being told. The fact of the matter is that yes, in the charter of MCI, which is very old, it says that distance mode of education and online mode of education is not permissible in MBBS. So when you ask them, they will tell you no. Obviously, because it's in the charter. But when you say in this pandemic, during this pandemic, are online classes permissible? So they can't say for 6 months sit at home because the university is not conducting any classes and you waste your academic 6 months. They will never tell you this because the online classes are occurring. Even in India, they have occurred. When the university is closed down, online classes occur. This is a special scenario. So do not try to circulate or get given to issues which are being sent unnecessarily to confuse the mind of people. Okay, so I am giving you factual situation. It is common sense. Okay, so let us understand. MCI will give you a notification based on the type of question that you ask. So please ask them during RTI, it's the same question, you will get a different response. Okay, that is my answer to this question. Anything else?
Yes, sir. There is one more question before we end. If this year we are not appearing in NEET, can we apply or not for MBBS in abroad?
Okay. Please apply for MBBS in abroad because the rule position is clear. You have to pass NEET 2021. That is one opportunity that Corona has given you. So don't waste this year. You can come back next year, appear for NEET 2021, but you have to pass NEET 2021. So you have to work hard because you have to pass your first year examination in Russia and you also have to pass NEET 2021. Okay, so you can definitely apply for admission in any university abroad in Russia.
Thank you, sir. Sir, another question. If we do not qualify for NEET, what will be the selection criteria for seat in Russia?
If you have not qualified for NEET in 2020, then the selection criteria remains the same, and I will repeat. For unreserved category, it is physics, chemistry, biology or biotechnology, or even biology as an additional subject. A total aggregate will be 50% for unreserved category, and pass marks in English. That is the criteria for unreserved. For unreserved, physically challenged or physically handicapped, it is 45% in the same subjects, and for reserved category, it is 40%. This will remain the eligibility criteria for joining Russian universities this year. But next year, you have to pass NEET, because otherwise you will have a problem when you come back. You will not be able to appear for FMG examination. So this is additional advantage that has been given to you only for this year.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much for this insightful information. And I would like to thank all our audience for participation in this webinar and listening to this so patiently. And we would be happy to answer all your queries. If you have any, you can visit to our Russian Education Fair, which is going on ruseducationfair.org, or you can call our expert counselors on our student helpline number, that is 1800-833-3338. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much, and Jai Hind, all of you. Have a good day. Have a good visit to the Rus Education Fair. Thank you very much.